today is talking about how adult loneliness is real and how making friends so hard, how making friends as an adult is so hard. I know, of course, I've heard this many a times, and I'm of course living through it. I guess I put it that way as well. So like I said, I definitely just want to share kind of my experience and what I'm doing about I guess what I'm doing about the loneliness and that kind of thing as well. So of course, if you like this topic or that kind of thing, make sure that you of course subscribe to the video, and click the notification bell to receive all the videos that upload from this point here on out. If you ain't seen those in the past, go check them out too. So let's go ahead and get into this. So we moved out here. Me and my partner moved out here to Arizona back in July 2022. So it's 3.5, well, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in this July, in a few months. So of course we didn't have any family out here at all. All our families back home in Missouri. So of course I always want to leave Missouri. I put it that way because I was so sick and tired of it, tired of being there, all those types of things. Been there 40 some years, just tired of it, y'all. Going through the same things, and I wanted something totally different. And of course, once my partner and I hooked back up, or well, hooked up, I guess I put it that way, because I've been knowing him for like 20 some years actually, but we never actually dated. We both had gotten married to different people and all this kind of stuff, of course, but kind of not really stayed in contact like that at all. But of course, he was on my social media. I was on his, like, what is it called? Your friends list and that kind of thing. So every once in a while, I'll see posts coming across and just, of course, congratulating him and his new family and that kind of thing. But of course, once divorces happened and relationships broke up for both of us, of course, I was still in St. Louis, and he ended himself up back in St. Louis as well. So of course, thus we of course got to know each other again, that kind of thing, and I guess you would say now hook back up. So like I said, we definitely we talked about moving and leaving to go to move somewhere. And like I said, I had never lived anywhere else but St. Louis, but he had lived in Arizona. He lived in a whole bunch of states, California, I think, for a little bit, New York, like in the music business, like different things that he was doing and different businesses that he had. So he's lived different places. But of course, like I said, I hadn't. So of course I knew there was a risk when I leave family, leave friends back home. I would have nobody going to where I'm at. So, and he technically didn't have any family, no family here in Arizona that he knows about or that kind of thing. But of course, he's lived here before. So he, of course, already knew a few people from work and that kind of thing as well. So that's thus the reason why we chose kind of to move here. It seemed like it was more ideal, so he kind of like knew where he was going, like knew the town a little bit, knew at least a few friends here from work and that kind of thing. And of course, I had found a job here, and he did too online. And we did our interviews before we left St. Louis, and of course had promising jobs and all that kind of thing, which everything went smoothly. But like I said, definitely just moving here, it I can't say from day one because, of course, we were getting unpacked and getting settled for the first several months. It seemed like it was a year, but I'm sure for the first several months, just getting settled in the new place. But of course, once holidays came around, once birthdays came around, I'm like, okay, now I miss my family, I miss my friends, ain't got nobody to celebrate with. Of course, I have coworkers, but we don't hang out like that. I mean, go out to eat or hang out after work. It's just at work. So, and that's the kind of I've never actually hung out with well, once or twice in St. Louis. I did have coworkers I used to hang out with and that kind of thing, but majority of the time it's never like that. So like I said, of course, moving here, like I said, I didn't have anybody to go hang out with because of course my hours were the banker's hours. His hours were more of like the overnight hours, like on the days that I was off. I guess I put it that way as well. So of course we weren't hanging out. We weren't, most holidays weren't spending time together and things like that as well. So of course, like I said, loneliness definitely did creep in. Definitely did. Within the first year, I'm pretty sure it did. Definitely did. I can't say I was homesick like that at all, but just knowing that I don't know how many holidays am I going to spend like this alone. It wasn't every single holiday, of course, he's at work or that kind of thing. There were some holidays he was off, but the kind of jobs he worked, they're 24 hours a day. And of course, like I said, some holidays he was he was scheduled to go into work already, or at least that night. So it wasn't the whole 24 hours. It was that night. So we spent a little bit of time together during the day, sometimes. But like I said, loneliness still did creep in. I didn't have anybody to go out and do nothing with, whether it was walking on the trail, whether it was going to the movies, unless he and I went, of course, during the week or that kind of thing. But I, of course, like I said, back home family, I always had somebody's house to go to, holidays, birthdays, any of the events that's going on, because I was one planning most of the events. I still love doing stuff like that. And like I said, definitely just all the loneliness. Just of course, I'm just sitting at home, bored to death, nothing to do. And of course, when you move from somewhere like St. Louis, they had a lot of different events in St. Louis, different parades, Mardi Gras, all this stuff going on. Moving here to Arizona and Tucson, like I said, they don't have all that stuff. I put it that way. All the fun things I was used to doing too. So that created some, um, I guess, more loneliness. I guess you can say more loneliness, more boredom. Oh my God, I gotta sneeze, y'all. It ain't coming out. It's gonna come out soon. But like I said, definitely, I was like, I'm losing my mind here. And after 3.5 years of this, almost 4 years, I'm like, I need to do something. Like I said, I've met different people, different places, and that kind of thing. Of course, like I said, I had work co-workers. We don't go out like that, but of course, meeting folks. I went to this what's it called? Pole dancing class. Met some girl there. She was very, very nice and that kind of thing. But of course, we switch numbers. She wanted to switch numbers and that kind of thing. And of course, afterwards, trying to, of course, just stay in contact with her. You want to go to the movies or to the mall or out to hike and this kind of thing. And it never really, I mean, every time I reached out, it was always, no, I don't want to go. I don't have the time. I can't do this, can't do that. Or, but it wasn't that I don't have the time. I guess just couldn't go. So like I said, definitely, I'm just like, okay. So now that happened actually a few times, actually. I'm sitting up here like I'm bored to damn death. Bored to death here. I'm lonely as hell. Like I said, no family. Like I said, I had my partner, yes. But like I said, he wasn't, I was, of course, me and him working. And like I said, his work hours were opposite of mine most times. And I'm like, okay, I'm bored as hell here. Bored as hell, lonely as hell. I ain't got nobody at the house to go over for the holidays when he's gone back to work and that evening or the whole day he's gone, that kind of thing. Sometimes for the holidays, it's like, okay, I'm bored here. I'm lonely here. I don't have any friends here. Trying to meet people, trying to, of course, join groups and that kind of thing. And nothing was really panning through. I'm like, okay, something has got to give. So what I did was, I know y'all, some of y'all may have heard of the app called Meetup. What I did was I started a Meetup group about a year ago. Of course, I only did 2 events at that. Well, maybe it was like a little bit over a year ago, but I only did like 2 events at that time. Nobody showed up for the first one. The second one person showed up. But of course, life started happening. Aunt passed away, so of course, all these things were going on. So definitely, I had to, of course, stop the group. I put it that way. So then this past month, well, I guess last month, but this past month and a half, I, of course, considered opening the group back up, which I did open it back up. Started posting in the group, that kind of thing, and letting folks know that I was going to start with the first, like, upcoming events and all that kind of stuff going on, too. But like I said, we just had our first meetup event yesterday at a restaurant, a local restaurant here. And I had 5 folks that actually came out, y'all. We had some very, very good conversation. Very good conversation, y'all. And like I said, that was amazing. Because like I said, I was thinking that, like I said, last year when I started when I did the other 2 events, I had nobody. Then I had just that one. And I'm thinking to myself, nobody's going to come. This is dumb. Why would I do this? But like I said, I was sick and tired of being lonely. Sick and tired of just going to work and just doing the same things day in, day out, not having nobody to do anything with, unless my partner was out working. We can do it like on a Monday or Tuesday or in the evening after I was off working, tired as hell already. So like I said, definitely it's just been, like I said, I had to I had to do something. I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit up there and just do nothing and just keep saying I'm lonely, this kind of thing, which I did for a few years. But like I said, I had to just go ahead and start back doing something. Because I was sick and tired of that same narrative in my life. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, I'm trying to build more of a support system here, a community here, some people that I can, like I said, hang out with, do stuff with, meet up with, all those types of things as well. And of course, at some point, of course, a lot of them, I think all of them, let me see, none of them were actually from Tucson, but some of them here, I think there was one that stayed here, been here like a year and a half, us a little bit over 3. There was a few over 2 over 7. I mean, like around 7 years, and one that had been here like 12 or 15 years or so. So none of us were from here. Of course, they may have other friends and that kind of thing. Some of them didn't either, and that's why they came to the meetup. So, like I said, definitely just like I was like, oh my gosh. It was, of course, men and women there. There was my guy was there. So I guess 3 men and I guess 4 ladies. So like I said, that was definitely awesome. So like I said, I was definitely tired of the same narrative. I'm bored. There's nothing to do. And like I said, I just had to make it happen, y'all. And I just hope that somebody hears that and picks that up too, because I know I'm not the only one who have moved somewhere to another city, another state. You don't have any family, you don't have any friends there. You're trying to figure out how to meet folks. Like I said, to me, that was the best way that I can think of, because I had already started that group but just did nothing with it except for those first two events. And like I said, loneliness is real when you get into adulthood, especially if you're, like I said, not in the place where you grew up at. I have friends and stuff back home, lots of family back home. But of course, it was my choice to, of course, move somewhere else. That none of that was going to happen. I guess I put it that way. So, like I said, definitely, like I said, I know that being an adult, of course, you're working, you have life, things are going on, family, partner, all that kind of stuff. Because we have our 18, well, I guess I still call her my daughter, but my partner's 18-year-old daughter now stays with us too here about the past year, no, 2 years maybe. So, of course, she's here too. And, of course, she's not at home all the time. We don't expect, she's 18 years old. She's working, that kind of thing too. But like I said, definitely, we know that as trying to, of course, join things and join different groups and trying to find folks to hang out with, some people, of course, aren't as, I'm not going to say aren't as friendly, but aren't as just easy to, of course, make friends with, especially, like I said, as an adult. Some people have their own hangups. Of course, I had some different hangups for different things back in the day and that kind of thing as well, but it still didn't stop me. But some people, it do stop when you have different traumatic situations or different hard situations that you go through with different friends, or things you fall out, and or different traumas happen and that kind of thing as well. And like I said, that definitely, certain people don't trust people a lot and that kind of thing too. That comes into play. So like I said, when you're trying to, of course, make friends as an adult, sometimes it's very hard. But of course, like I said, it's definitely not impossible. All the folks that I met yesterday, I guess me and my partner met yesterday, those 5 folks, of course, they're all looking forward to like the next event, which I'll be posting today actually. And like I said, I was glad that something told me just to go ahead and restart this. I didn't know how it was going to be. Like I said, I had no idea if anybody would even show up. But like I said, I restarted it anyway. And like I said, I'm definitely glad that I did. Definitely glad that I did. So like I said, I just want to share that little nugget with y'all this morning. I hope that if you're one who's living and moved from home and don't have any family or friends where you stay and you're by yourself and you're trying to make friends and that kind of thing too. Like I said, I'm not trying to promote Meetup or that kind of thing. But like I said, that's what I did. Because I had already had my group, even though it was inactive. I restarted it anyway. But I know they have other groups on there and stuff like that too. But of course, like I said, there's other groups you can probably join in the community and that kind of thing too. Or church if you go, or that kind of thing too. Like I said, you can definitely find some different places and different things to, of course, like I said, to meet people at. But of course, if in my situation that just wasn't happening the way that I liked at all, it was like flaky people and this kind of thing going on. So I'm like, I got to do my own thing. I was always told, if you don't have a table in front of, what is it called? The quote. I forgot how it go. But if the table that you're trying to sit at, there's no more seats left, build your own table. And that's exactly what I started back doing, like I said, with that event I had yesterday. And this is just the first of many. So y'all, like I said, I'm going to get my butt off here. And I just hope that this inspires somebody to, of course, step on out there on faith, y'all. Because that's exactly what I did too. And I'm very, 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 very glad that I did it. So with that, y'all, again, this is Tonetta. I hope y'all have enjoyed the video today. Like I said, definitely let me know in the comments if you've moved somewhere to another state without any family or friends. How are you coping and how are you making friends in your area? Let me know in the comments. Because like I said, you can definitely help somebody else as well. Possibly with something that I have not, of course, mentioned in this video, because I didn't mention everything at all. So like I said, definitely put it in the comments, y'all. With that, y'all, have a great one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.